Alright, hey guys, today the topic of interest is 6 signs that you may have a low level of self-esteem. Now, oftentimes people think that, high level self-esteem and low level self-esteem are very simple concepts and it's very obvious. So you can think like, somebody hangs their head low, so that means that they have a low level of self-esteem. But sometimes the signs are a little bit more subtle. So I'm going to share with you what these signs are. And if you see yourself in any of these signs, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It just means that there's room to grow and you can become aware of it. And the first sign of improving your self-esteem, or the first step to improve your self-esteem, is awareness, right? In areas that there are room to grow. Okay, so let's just get started. I've been talking a lot today. So sign number one that you may have a low level of self-esteem is you do things for the approval of other people, or you do things in hope of getting a reaction from other people. So let me give you an example, a positive reaction from the other people. So let's say like you own a multi-million-pound business and you're doing really well, right? And you meet up with other people. You bring up the fact that you own this business that's doing really well in hope that the people that you're talking to are going to give you a response. So you say, you're like, yeah, I own this business and it's a multi-million-pound business. And you're sharing it, looking for the validation of them. So you're sharing it in hope that they're going to be like, oh, wow, you're so amazing. Oh, you're doing a great job, aren't you? How do you do it? You're doing it because you want the approval of those people. There's a difference in you sharing that fact because it's a fact, and not because you're looking for validation from those people. It's a subtle difference, right? And you have to become aware of that. Yeah, like becoming aware of your intentions. Like I remember when Facebook first became a thing, in my social circle, we used to think that when you get 30 likes on a status, that means you have made it. I mean, that is that you are it if you made it. So one thing I used to do was I used to go onto Google and I find all these funny quotes and then I'll share them onto Facebook and hope that I'll get those likes. So I was sharing them in hope that I'll get a response from people. So when I got those 30 likes, I'll be like, that's good, right? I'm good, I'm funny, right? And if I didn't, I'd be upset. And the reason was because I attached my sense of self from the response that I got from other people. So it was attached from the validation of other people. So once again, my self-esteem is not coming from an internal place, it's coming from an external place. And when it comes from an external place, it's often a sign that you feel that you're lacking within. That's where you go out. So that's the first sign of low level of self-esteem. Okay. Sign number two is you downgrade the success of other people. So you throw a little slight digs at the success of other people. And you do it in a subtle way. So it's not always an obvious way. It's always in a little slight dig. So for example, let's say you have a friend who's doing really well in ice skating. That's their passion. They're passionate about ice skating. They're skating away, they're winning awards and getting quite a bit of social recognition. So when people ask you about your friend, you're like, oh yeah, they work hard, they're doing so great, they're so fantastic. Then you go, but, right? But there's no money to be made in ice skating. Or but ice skating isn't really that big of a deal. Or but you can't make a career out of ice skating. Those little slide digs, that little but that you threw in there is an attempt of you downgrading the success. And the reason you do that is because that success is a constant reminder to you that you're not working as hard as you should be on your goals. And because of that, and because of your feeling of inadequacy, you try put them down to your level. Basically, you try put them down to make yourself feel better. And the ironic thing is, when you do that, you're actually lowering your own level of self-esteem, and you're lowering your view. You're lowering the view people have of you because you're trying to put other people down, right? And it's a sort of little thing, and people pick it up at a subconscious level. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level, people pick it up, right? And that's often a sign that you feel that you're lacking as well, that you have to put other people down. That's another sign. Okay, sign number three. Ridiculous inconsistencies in emotional stability. So basically, you have no emotional stability. You're always high and you're always low. You have extreme highs and lows, and you're having those at a consistent basis, basically. So you have no emotional flat line. It's always highs and lows, highs and lows. And what that often is, that's often a sign that you have attached your sense of self to external things. Once again, it's always external things. And one way a lot of us do this is this. Oftentimes, especially women, they attach their sense of beauty or their level of attractiveness based on the response that they get from men. And guys do this too, based on their response from women, right? So they believe I am attractive if everybody finds me attractive and everybody gives me their attention. So when you don't get the attention that you need from particular men that you're attracted to, right, you go low. You go low. You're like, oh, this means that I am not attractive, and this means I am not good. But when you get the attention, you're extremely high. It's like, it's great, right? because your sense of self or your sense of beauty is coming from the validation of other people. Like I said, validation always comes up, right? And this is what happens when you don't get that validation or you don't get that attention that you want from the person. This is what you do. You start investing more into that person in hope that you change their mind. So you start working super hard to try and get that validation. And when or if they give you that validation and you give it that attention, you start feeling good about yourself because you're saying, oh, look, see, I've proved to them that I am attractive. They didn't think I was attractive before, but when they got to know me, I showed them that I am attractive. And now it proves that I am attractive, right? So your emotional stability is always going to be high and low, always high and low. No consistencies because it's attached to the reaction of other people. That's sign number 4. Huh? Okay, sign number 5. Your inability to admit when you are wrong. So this is a big one. So oftentimes, right, people will get into an argument. You get into an argument and you're arguing and you can genuinely believe that your point is correct, right? You're having a debate with somebody, and then halfway through the argument, you realize that the other person is right and you've been wrong the whole time. So instead of admitting that you're wrong, instead of admitting, like, I made a mistake, I was wrong, you carry on fighting your corner to defend yourself, right? And the reason you do that is because you've attached your ego to the idea or the image that you have of yourself of always being right in the eyes of others, right? Because it's attached to always being right. It's not attached to truth, right? And because it's not attached to truth, you try get loud, you try get all defensive in an attempt to preserve yourself or to preserve that image that you have of yourself. Or so that's a sign. Inability to admit when you're wrong, right? That's a sign. Sign number 5. Sign number 6. Addiction. Addiction's a big one. Sign number 6. So oftentimes, right, when you have a low level self-esteem, we fall into addiction because we're trying to run away from our pain. So we're trying to run away from the reality of our experiences, or running away from the reality of the problems that we face. So a sign of high level self-esteem is somebody who is, when they see problems, they're going to go face the problem. So they're going to be consciously aware of the problem and they're going to try find solution to sort out the problem. But when you have a low level self-esteem, you try avoid the problem. So you try to think, oh no, I don't want to think about that problem. So as a result, you distract yourself. And oftentimes we distract ourselves through addictions. So it's not always like hard drugs, oh, he's popping Xanax. No, it's not like that. It's sometimes, it can be drugs, but sometimes it's alcohol, addictions to people, pornography, addictions to a whole bunch of different things. Food, addiction, right? Because you do that and as an attempt to run away from your problems. So for example, let's say I have a bad credit score and I'm like in major debt in my bank account. Like I owe a lot of people money and I'm like deep in the minus. Instead of me looking at my credit score and thinking, oh my gosh, this is the problem, let me try work to fix it, you run away from the problem. So you won't even look at your credit score, you completely ignore it, and you try to do other things to distract yourself from the issue at hand, right? There's a problem, but you're running away from it. You're trying to be you're making it so you're not consciously aware of it. You're choosing not to be consciously aware of it, and that in turn lowers your level of self or of self-esteem. It's when you're consciously aware of your problems and you actually try and make steps to solve the problems, that is a sign that you have a good level of self-esteem. So addiction is always a big indicator, always one that you should always look into. I think that was number 6. Or is it number 7 now? Is this the inability to be content. So, for example, you're always striving for more goals in an attempt to be more in the eyes of others. So your drive is coming from a place of inadequacy. It's coming from a place of you feeling you're not enough or you're not worthy. So you think that for me to be worthy, I need to do this. So I'm going to do more of this in an attempt to do this. So once I get this goal, then I will be this. So once I get in that relationship, then I will be happy. Once I do this, then I will be this, right? Once I get that sexual conquest, I will be this, right? Once I get that award, then I will be this. I will be worthy of love, kind of thing. And once again, those goals are coming from a place of inadequacy because you're feeling that you're not enough, right? So you feel you have to prove or you have to achieve something to be more. And the funny thing is, once you get that goal, you'll still be feeling empty because it's coming from a place of you feeling empty. So the thing is, there's a difference between striving for a goal because that's something that's intrinsically important to you, and as opposed from you striving for the goal because you feel like it's going to give you something because you're lacking, but you're not lacking anything. So that's often a sign of a low level of self-esteem. When you're striving for goals because you're feeling inadequate, or you're striving for a goal because you're hoping that it's going to make you more of something, right? Very subtle difference. So learn to be aware of these things. When you're aware of these signs, you can work on them and you can change them. So these are signs. I'm also going to release a video on how to improve your self-esteem as well. So there'll be a part 2 to this. So that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.